Hello, friends, and welcome to Just Jenni Lee, episode 16. I have been out of the studio for a few days because I really had to work on the website. That has just been way past due. And one of the things I started to realize when I was putting the website together is that I have a whole bunch of artwork that does not have signatures on it. That's not because I didn't think it was done. That's because back in high school, I became like a bit of an art snob with my teachers who were like, oh, putting your signature on the artwork devalues it. And, you don't see people's signatures on artwork that's hundreds of years old or whatever. But yeah, over time, people were like, no, we really want your signature on the artwork. So now that I'm listing the artwork, I have to go through, rephotograph it, sign it, all that good stuff. And so this was the first piece I did in the large scale acrylic series. And I pulled it off the wall so that I could sign it because the little signing videos I put together seemed to be really popular. And I realized, oh my gosh, the marker work in this is just atrocious. So it's the first one. I'm not surprised, but I kind of want to go in and clean it up and do all of that and finalize it a little bit better before I take pictures and post it on the old interwebs. So that being said, I'm going to grab my markers and I'm going to say that today's topic is going to be a phrase that I think was really popular when I was in high school in the 90s, which was just do it. Michael Jordan was like the hero of the day for teenagers and adults alike, honestly. And he had this campaign that I'm sure you're aware of, that just do it was like the theme, the motto. And so as I've been putting this website together and trying to come to terms with the overwhelming backlog of work that I have that I need to put together in order to put myself on the web, it's kind of overwhelming me. And there's so much in my life where I'm terrified to be doing things, and so I don't do them and I just avoid them. My husband and I are really similar in this way. He gets nervous doing like household things like paperwork and stuff. And so then he'll just ignore it and he just won't do anything about it. And so I get panicky because I'm like, oh my gosh, don't you need to worry about this, that, or the other thing? And this year we have both really decided to take, the bull by the horns and focus on doing things that maybe seem intimidating and trying to keep up with things. And there's no time like the present. He was telling me how he was super overwhelmed to go into the basement and see the whole mess. And then he just started to dig into it and it started to come together. And he's super excited about it now. And so I kind of felt that way about my website. I had started building it about a year and a half ago, and it was really daunting. I didn't understand like the tax things, and I couldn't figure out how to get a purchase to go through, and I was just having all kinds of issues. And so I walked away from it for quite some time. And come to find out, with the advent of ChatGPT, I was able to get through what I felt like were the big bottlenecks quite easily. In a couple days, I've like gone through and tested a purchase, and I've got all these listings up, and tax rates are what they should be, and fulfillment options for shipping and all this, everything that I thought was going to be the most daunting and challenging part of the process. Now, I had gone in and added some items, some artwork and prints and different things, stickers, and that seemed to be like the least troublesome part of the whole process back in the past. And so now that I've got that part done, I'm realizing I have hundreds probably of pieces of artwork that need to be documented and cataloged. I've got like a spreadsheet that I've created now that I started adding things so that I know like what size it is. How am I selling? Am I selling the original? Am I only selling prints? Does it have stickers? What all that sort of thing. And how much would it, how much is each thing and all that sort of thing. So it's been pretty eye-opening to realize that the bulk of the work that I thought was the problem was really not the problem. And I just needed to get in there and do the stuff that was intimidating me, is what's actually now honestly the most intimidating is realizing how much backlog of work that I'm going to have to manage in order to get it on the website. For example, I have big watercolors that I've done. You can see the one sitting back there, and none of them are really signed because I did a lot of them back in the day, and then a lot of them got put under glass. This is the days before iPhones. And so I now have to not only like rephotograph them, I have to pop them out of the frames first. And some of them are in these fancy shadow box frames, which is why that one looks like it's kind of falling apart there, because I popped it out of its frame so that I could rephotograph it and sign it. And I just need to do that. So there's a lot more going into the website that is more challenging than the website itself. So I'm pretty encouraged to see that it can come together, but I am a little bit overwhelmed by how much artwork I've got to tackle. And I really do wish that I had just done it back in the day when I was sitting down to try to take care of all the artwork in my life. I wish I had just done it and stuck to it. Another thing that I put off for a really long time was doing a YouTube channel. A lot of people would tell me different social media platforms. Oh, you should have TikTok. Oh, you should have YouTube. You should have this. You should have that. And I wouldn't really take anybody all that seriously. I didn't really understand like how an artist would, do that. I don't know. So Naomi's dad's a computer programmer, but when we got divorced, I sort of walked out of the world of the internet like back in 2006, right before the advent of the iPhone, and I sort of got lost. Technology just kind of became a mysterious thing to me. And so I didn't put much stock in doing any of that stuff. And once I finally decided in December, it was just like I've said, on a whim, I decided to do this, the Scarf Saga series, because I was just going through like this dilemma of trying to make my daughter these scarves for Christmas. And I don't know what prompted me. I want to say God did to share what I was doing. And I felt so stupid, but I didn't care. I just did it anyways. I just did it, not sure where it was going to lead. And it has led to this journey of not only making content online, but now I'm back in the studio doing live streams. And I've got my website up technically. So it is such a neat thing to realize, oh my gosh, this wasn't the big bad bear that I thought it was. If you just start doing something and you put one foot in front of the other, you will be so surprised at the progress that you can make in life. I am just amazed. There's been other things in my life where I didn't think I could do it, and I finally just wrapped my brain around it and just kind of plugged along and was able to accomplish things that I never thought I could. I walk a lot in faith, and so I have to reach out to God and say, I don't know how to do this and I need help. And inevitably, I will get answers. So whether you believe in that being from God or not, that's for you to decide. But for me, stepping back and like evaluating and being willing to just hear outside input and influences has been helpful. But there's a second part of this that I think bears mentioning. And sometimes people really feel like there's a lot of value in telling the universe what you're up to. And I definitely used to think that for a really long time. I thought, well, it's accountability. It's going to help me. It's going to actually give me the motivation to fulfill, my promises if I'm vocal about it and I tell other people about what my plans are. But I have found that some of the times, at least initially when you first start yourself going with something, that it can be really a distraction if you set out to say something that is a goal or something that you plan to be doing without actually just putting your mind to it and doing it first. You can kind of set yourself up for failure. So my motto is kind of like, just do it, but don't tell anybody about it, at least for a little bit. When I first started putting my stuff up on YouTube, I obviously was telling people about what I was doing because I was on YouTube. But what I wasn't really doing was I wasn't really telling anybody I knew about what I was doing. So you could go and you could see my videos if you followed my social media, but I wasn't like announcing to people really what I was doing. I just started doing it. And it was kind of cool because the reception that I got from people who were online was really positive. And I was just honest in my low times. I've been honest when I've had panic attacks. I'm telling people, kind of what I'm going through and what my struggles are and what my successes are. I've done the live streams where I'm painting the mallard duck in the oils, and I feel really like insecure to be doing that. It feels crazy. Do you like my mediums are certain mediums? I'm a watercolor artist for the most part, and then I branched off into acrylics and pen and ink. So oils are way outside my wheelhouse. And I thought, okay, I should learn probably how to paint in oils before I start going online and doing live streams where I'm painting oils. But those live streams do the best. I get the most response. I got like 12 new subscribers from my last live stream, and there's not that many views they're less than 200. So it made me realize that people can really relate to my vulnerability, and even though it may feel weird, just doing it has made a huge difference in my life and a huge boost in my confidence and my self-esteem. Have always been a challenge for me. I tend to beat myself up, beat myself into the ground, think I suck, think I'm no good. My husband likes to laugh at people who are like heckling me in comments and stuff, because I'll just be like, you're right, I suck. I know. I'm not saying I don't. So yeah, I struggle thinking that I lack anything to offer anybody because I just don't think I have, a voice that matters. But at the end of the day, I realized that my voice does matter to whoever wants it to matter. And that probably isn't everybody. That may be a select few. It's a pretty niche line of work that I'm in here, making conceptual artwork with like a Christian bent to it. I know that's not exactly common probably for most people. I think most Christian artwork is seen as very like representational and almost like predictable. And I don't like that kind of artwork. It doesn't speak to me. And I don't feel that I need to do what's already been done. And let's just say been done well, sometimes not well, and other times very well. But I don't need to reinvent that wheel. It's already been done. So what I want to do is I want to take art to a different level where you don't have to be like only an angry jaded person to be an artist, just living off of the visceral negative experience of your life, because I do have plenty of those. I certainly do. But if my artwork was exclusively about those, then it would probably get pretty dark. So even when my artwork is about hard things, like this one here is about anxiety, and the fact that there's times when I'm having anxiety that I just walk around with like chest pain just constantly, sometimes for days or weeks on end, and I cannot shake it. And so I want to convey that, but then I want to convey it in such a way that is like really visually compelling and not just expected, because I think that the pain is unexpected. I think the experience is unexpected. I think the ramifications are unexpected. And so I like to make my artwork a little bit less expected and a little bit less predictable, where you might look at me on a Sunday morning at church, or you might look at me out kayaking with my husband, and you might chat with me at the restaurant over a drink, and you might not guess that this is the type of artwork I make. And that's probably the most fun I have in making the artwork that I make. Is for the most part, people are always really surprised when they see it, and they're just like, wow. And that's because I just will myself to do it as much as I can, but I'm not super successful at it all the time. It's a constant grind, and I have to constantly remind myself to just do it. Even when we went to How Caverns last week, I don't like to be, cold, and I don't like to be driving around on winter days and all that sort of thing, but just doing it was so good because I had that amazing experience with my family. I have a treasure trove of reference photos that I'm going to get to use to create a new series of artwork. And it was just a fantastic day in general. It was just a lot of fun. So even when I'm not feeling it, I've been really trying to show up for myself and do it. And I just want to encourage you. Just do it. Just do it. Start that podcast. Start to learn how to paint. learn how to refinish your floors. I don't know, whatever it is that you're looking to do, pick up an instrument, go take a class. Like, it's not too late. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 12, and I don't care if you're 82. I I used to have a student that I loved so much. She was 88, I think. And she would drive all the way. It was probably a good 30, 45-minute drive to get from her house to my studio. And if it was uh, a rainy day, she would drive the drive all the way from like Ballston Spa or Saratoga all the way to my studio over in Greenwich and take a watercolor class with me. And I would know if it was going to be a sunny day that she wasn't going to be there because she was probably going to be out kayaking or hiking. And so, like, everybody can be doing something no matter what age you are, and like actually living life. Because if you let your fears and you let your insecurities dictate what you do, you're not going to do anything, and you're not going to like yourself very much. I like myself a lot better now than I'm willing to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And now I can like look back on YouTube and through all my social media, and I'm like, wow, you go, girl. Okay. Like, I'm surprising myself with this journey. So I just want you to know that if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you. It's been a lot of fun. I would love to have you like and subscribe if you want to be a part of my journey. I hope that you have a really great day and a great rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next video.